Welcome, guys, to my The Traitors Canada recap. Oh, episode what? Oh, season one,
Six.
episode 6. We
Yeah.
are well. Corinne said we are the second back half of the game is upon us. It doesn't feel like that. It feels like there's still so much game to be played. Yet, is there like 10 episodes? What is going on here?
Yeah. But when she said that, I was like, oh, that came fast. But at the same time, there's seemingly fewer and fewer people.
Right,
And I am liking it. I am liking it. I love this episode. I thought it was super, super interesting. I hate when I'm upset that I'm invested in any of the characters because then I care. Because when
right,
I'm seeing previews or things are happening, I'm like, no, it's much more enjoyable when I don't have a stake in who wins. But
right.
my girl Koozie,
Uh and the thing is, I'm gonna hate it if she doesn't win because I feel like to this point she's been playing such a
she good
great
game.
game. I'm
Yes.
like literally so proud of the game that she has played. I I can't even like explain it to anybody. It's not even just about her, being a Kuzi stan. It's literally she like even the rant that she went on, I didn't hadn't watched the episode yet because I was watching like Love Island or something. Um and I was watching the rant on Twitter and I was just like, "Oh my god." Like she's like deflecting so well.
Yeah, she just has a skill for these social games. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm rooting for my girl Koozie. I am hoping the show with editing is tricking us and not this many people are really barking up her tree. Because I don't like it. Go find another tree, please.
I
Immediately.
I do kind of hope like somehow she gets saved because I want her to win this game so bad. But just having the suspicion on her is, but I'm trying to think if Suri ever had her name. Her name was called. So this is the thing. It's not like her name can't be called and she can't get out of it. If she does
Right.
it, she can get out of it. She could get out of it. Suri has had her name called a couple times at the round table and she was able to get out of it because what Kuzi's strategy here we hear is sound. Her strategy is to find a group of faithfuls that she can gain trust in, to take
Mm-hmm.
her to the end and
Mm-hmm.
to truly believe in her,
Mm-hmm.
that they don't have any doubt in her.
Right.
And that's the way to do it. That's the
Right.
way to do it. That's the way Sari did it. Even though people were upset about it, but that is the if you're a trader, that is the only way to do it. In Australia, the person that won did the same thing. That was the only way. That's the only
Yeah.
way. On the flip side, in the UK, um, they they almost took a traitor to the end, but he got betrayed. And so, listen, that's the only thing that like I would worry about. So let's discuss the episode though before we get there. Corinne walks in to Trader's Tower and she tells them because they were going to recruit.
Yes, they were ready, primed and ready to pick a new trader.
Right. And Corinne tells them there will be no recruitment, there will be no murder. It is time to switch up the game. So this is part of the game. We have seen it in all the versions. Um, they are going to put 3 players on death row.
Yeah.
And so no one will be murdered tonight, but somebody will be murdered from the list the next night.
So that took out their ability to recruit on this night and the following night.
Right.
Oh wow.
Um, And so Kuzi's upset because she wanted to recruit a
Yeah.
scapegoat so bad. Um, and they say they won't put themselves, it will raise suspicion. So we've seen this where traders like randomly have like not all both of them or
Mhm.
or whatever, but they've put like 1 or 2 traders on if there's multiple traders on the death warrant, just just to have that there, so try to throw off suspicion. But people are always suspicious of the people on the list. It's
Yeah.
so crazy.
Yeah,
It's
I
so
understand it.
crazy.
I understand that, like, the thought process behind like putting traders on the list and not putting traders on the list, and then being suspicious of who's on the list and whether or not they're like. I get it. It's just something else for people to obsess over and try
Right.
to come up with conspiracy theories about.
Oh, hold on a sec. Sorry. Okay. Um. Sorry. Got something stuck in my throat. Um. And so yeah, they are trying to eliminate. Well, especially Mike. He has had enough suspicion on him, so he doesn't need
Tons,
more.
tons.
Um. Uh. Um. So they discuss who is up for banishment, and they discuss the names that have been thrown out before, which is Trayvon, May, and Mary. Apparently, Gurleen has come to Kuzi multiple times and said, um, Mary's name. They
Hmm.
are really under the impression Mary's a traitor. We know Kevin also thought Mary was a
Yep.
traitor the last time. So, on the flip side, they decide then they are going to put down Mary,
Mary.
Kevin, and Melissa A.
Yep.
And so they agree they're taking this to the end. And we see the next morning at breakfast, Gurleen, Mickey, Melissa A come in first.
Mm-hmm.
Then Trayvon, Donna, and Mike. And Trayvon said something that was kind of weird.
I don't remember. What did he say?
He said, "Oh, this is the first time I've been this early to breakfast." And we know it's because he's been on the list to be murdered by the traitors a few times, right?
Yeah, I wonder what determines the order. I guess they're just sent down, but I don't know, like, if there's any rhyme or rhythm to that.
Sorry. So usually we know that if you're one of the ones that the traitors are thinking about murdering,
Mm-hmm.
usually towards the back, because they want it to be suspenseful.
The show. Yeah.
Yeah. Now the thing is, going forward, I don't know how long they're going to be able to keep that up, because if people who watch the show often enough understand that it's possible that those people aren't traitors, they're faithfuls,
Yeah.
because they're ending up and at the end all the time,
Mm-hmm.
they won't target those people.
But Kuzi was at the end a few times, wasn't she?
Susie was at the end a few times.
Yeah, she was
So
today. She was
Canada, I
live
think
today.
Canada, I think, is doing the best job of making sure that that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
Like this one, Trayvon, Donna, and Mike come in. Donna says she thinks she found two traitors. Dom and Kevin. And Kuzi, May, and Leroy are left. Oh wait, sorry. Dom and Kevin had come in, and then
Mm-hmm.
Kuzi and May and Leroy were left. Mike has a theory. Mike thinks there are two traitors from the red team. Again, they're bringing up the shield thing, and Donna thinks she knows of two of them. Mike agrees. May comes in, then Kevin, then Leroy, and everybody's upset because they think Kuzi's been murdered.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, because when she comes in, they're very excited to see her. She
Right.
was geeked. I like that confessional. She's like, this means, I forget what she said, but I liked it.
And nobody's saying my name. They all trust me, blah, 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 blah. And it was good, but you see how fast that turns, right? Like
Yeah.
you saw how top of the episode, by the end of the episode, it just turned like a dime.
Yep.
Um, so they realized there was no murder when Kuzi comes in, and Mickey owns up to having the shield
Yeah.
because he
I
wants
don't get it.
I told you. He wants to throw suspicion on the last team because why did nobody show that they had the shield?
Yeah.
And so they think one of the others left from the other team had the shield and was the traitor. And we know this is true because it was Kuzi. um, so there's a knock at the door, and Karin enters and walks in and tells them that not all good news is good news. Yes, there was no murder, but that is not good news.
Right.
The traitors have put 3 people up on death row, and those 3 people are Mary, Kevin, and Melissa A. They will be observed, and one of them will be murdered that very evening. And she said, "Enjoy your breakfast."
Yeah, she was funny.
She's doing such a good job at this.
Mary's face was priceless.
Oh
She
my
looked
God.
so shocked.
She was so shocked.
Yeah.
And I wonder how many of them have actually watched the show, because if you watch the
Watch the
show,
show, you're not surprised. But maybe
right,
she was shocked that she was on
he
there.
was on it, right.
Yeah.
Um, Donna wants to use this next round like a court. Like, she tells everyone on the red team to raise their hands. Well, one of you guys must have had the shield. And Kuzi is stressed out, like, why are we still bringing up the shield
Leave the shield alone.
around? And then Dom says something I thought was silly. Dom says Fierce didn't have the shield because he was a faithful. And I was like the same way Kuzi was, because I was like, how do you know that?
Yeah. Because you could get banished. And
Right,
he could be a liar. He could be lying.
right. Like,
Yeah.
why you think he would have owned up to it?
Because he got banished.
Like,
Yeah.
what? No, my thing is why do you think just because he got? First of all, we all know that Fierce didn't expect to get banished the night before,
Right.
and so maybe he would have owned up to it, but he chose not to. How are you so certain just because he was a faithful that means that he didn't have the shield?
Right. So none of the faithfuls have it? That's what you mean? You know what I mean? So
Right, like,
nobody that's
that's
a faithful
ridiculous.
could have the shield?
And not
It's
say
just
anything.
goofy
Because I'm
reasoning.
telling I'm telling you, I would not say anything.
Me neither. I don't see the positive of telling anything.
Me neither.
Because all that means is they can't murder you. 'Cause how long do you have it till the end of the game?
No, just once. One that round.
So if they tried to kill, is it Leroy?
Mm-hmm.
No, Mickey. So if they tried to kill Mickey, they just it's not going. Well, they know now that he has it. So what? They're
So this is the reason why I'm saying this is they took a shot at the team anyway. In their head, right? And this is with all versions of in their heads.
whose
If
head?
the team, right?
Mhm.
The team that has the shield is protected because the traitors will never know if they have the shield.
Right.
Or the traitors don't give a damn and they took a shot at the team and they
Anyway,
landed.
right.
Yes, we
But
know
if
that
they kill Mickey, what
mhm.
happens? He comes in the next morning, you said.
Yes, yeah,
Okay. So they wasted a kill, basically.
right.
But they
And
know now, like, does the shield take you to the end of the game if you still have it?
no, like you see that this next round Kevin went in for the shield.
Right.
So it's every round. It's only for one round. One murder.
Gotcha. Okay. I thought like Kuzi still had a shield.
No,
But
no, no, no.
okay. Gotcha.
There's not
So
an
Mickey
everlasting
showed
shield.
his shield, but it's no longer active.
No.
Gotcha. Okay. Sorry, I didn't get
So,
that part.
so what I'm saying is at the point where the next morning when they took a shot at that team and it landed on Crystal,
Mm-hmm.
everybody was insisting, oh, somebody on there had the shield knew and had to be a traitor, right?
Yeah.
So at that point, they do start accusing everybody. Why would, even if I'm a faithful, why would I open up and tell everybody I
Right.
have the shield?
I don't understand. These people must be bored and they just want to talk. Like I just don't understand the positive at all.
Yeah, it to me it's weird. To me, like if you don't want to tell, you don't have to tell. I don't think it's all the times means that you're a traitor. I just don't.
Yeah.
Um, Dom thinks that the traitor is Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kevin starts freaking out because he's on death row. People have been saying his name.
And
He's
Dom
trying to
was
get to this end of the
vocal.
game.
Dom was like, I think it's you, Kevin. I was like, dang, okay. That's funny.
um, Mary and Melissa A console each other.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that! Is, is that the real Dom? If it is the real Dom, welcome, Dom. um, so Mary and Melissa console each other. They're just like devastated to be on death row. Which I understand, especially if it to you it came out of nowhere because nobody had said your name.
Right.
But at some point you have to kind of like figure out. I feel like Kevin went about it the right way. These two didn't seem to like. It's kind of like they threw up their hands, like literally death row walking, like, you know what I mean, like the Green Mile. Like they both were just like, well, there's nothing I can do about it, I'm gonna be murdered. Did you feel that way? I felt that way with Mary and Melissa. They were both just like the way that they went through this challenge, the way that they were like having conversations. It was like, yeah, I'm dead.
Mary seemed really defeated to me, you know. Yeah,
She
she did.
did. And I really wish she had, like, I understand why people think Mary's a
Traitor.
traitor, because it's not even that she's just quiet. She's just not.
Nonchalant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And so I just was like, oh my God, like these poor women, I don't know what to tell. So Kevin says again, he's still suspicious of Mike. Ugh, Kevin's traitor. His traitor is so
Good. Yeah,
bad.
I was like, you got to get. And you know who else was impressing me this
Mm-hmm.
episode? Gerline.
Oh, Gerline was
I
on it.
was like, oh, y'all better either recruit her.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know. Or I think Kuzi could still outsmart her if she recruited her,
Yes.
or kill her.
Yeah.
Because and we haven't gotten there. My surprised me this episode too. So let's keep talking about this challenge.
Yeah, yeah. So Mike says that he thinks Kevin is possible, but not the top of his list. I was like, okay, Mike. Basically, if you're going to be suspicious of me, I'm going to be suspicious of you.
Yeah.
And so Mary and Melissa A start discussing, and they start talking about Kuzi because they think she is too calm, and that she starts deflecting questions back at them. And meanwhile, my whole thing is Melissa A is on the flip side of that. Dom says, I love hearing all of you podcasters speculate.
I bet.
Melissa A, on the other hand, is so vocal. And I feel like because she is so vocal, she is looking at things from her vantage point, but you are vocal in every situation, right?
Yeah.
Everybody is not a vocal person, right?
Yeah.
So you are throwing suspicion on somebody because, and I said this, I would probably be either banished or murdered because they would think because I'm quiet, I'm a traitor rather than I'm being upset.
She ain't never saying nothing. She's over in the corner watching us. Something's up with Tamika. Like, I can see that happening easily, so you better not be quiet, Tamika.
Because I am observant. And the one thing I did agree with Kuzi on is I'm very similar in what she was saying, even though we know it's bullshit because she's a traitor. But that I am not going to, unless I feel it in my bones like 100%, I am not going to put exactly. So they would banish me. They would either murder or banish me. Because
I thought Kuzi was spot on when she said that if we put Melissa up, she's just gonna talk herself into trouble because she was yapping.
She was.
Yeah, she called that like strategy really, really good.
She did, because that is the funniest part of it, that Melissa A and Mary are saying Kuzi's too quiet, she doesn't throw names out there. Yeah, because what is the point of being so vocal that you are so wrong?
Or saying other people's names and getting other people upset. So then they
Right,
want to look at you and are
right.
watching you I mean, I get it. It's probably hard as a like to know when exactly to go for the attack or when exactly to bring up names.
Yep, 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 yep. And so that was their reasoning for Kuzi. I mean, we all know that they're not far off the trail, but also
Yeah.
they say that Crystal was suspicious of Kuzi. Now again, we didn't start getting that Crystal actually had some suspicion of Kuzi until
Till
like
late.
after she left, because
Yeah.
we all thought it was just about Mike, but she said she was worried about Kuzi and thought she could be a traitor. And they're saying that she's too quiet and she doesn't throw out names. Um, Kevin, Leroy, and Gerline, basically, they are a I
Threesome.
don't
Yep.
yeah, they're a threesome with Kuzi.
Right.
They are kind of her faithful shields.
Yep.
These are the faithfuls that she wants to try to protect
Rock
to the
with.
end, and,
Mm-hmm.
and get her to the end, but also she would end up betraying them in the end because she is the
A
traitor.
traitor. Yeah.
And
That's a really,
again,
I mean, I love the strategy, because
yeah,
if you can get in with a group of people and
mm-hmm,
believe or have those people believe in your faithfulness, right, and ride for you, then that's really
right,
good because you can have the numbers to keep yourself.
right.
Like,
And
it's
so
no matter what, if
Kevin,
I got my
yeah,
crew, I'm okay. You know what I mean?
yeah, so even Kevin said that last episode. The thing is that he was cozying up to the wrong person because that person wasn't a traitor. He was trying to cozy up to Mary, thinking Mary was the traitor, and he didn't realize he all along already had from day
A
one.
traitor.
He
Yeah,
already had the traitor in his pocket, and we see this. Like Kuzi is saying, she wants to protect Kevin Martin as far as she
she
could
could.
can
Yeah.
take it.
Hmm.
And
That's
so,
why, like what we
mhm,
discussed later, is so freaking goofy. But go ahead.
mhm, mhm, mhm. Dom, Mike, and Melissa A. Mai and Donna discuss, and they think it's Leroy or Kuzi because they have just narrowed it down to the red team.
It's red. Somebody on red.
Someone on red. So Leroy or Kuzi. And they have decided not to vote for anyone on death row. How long did that last?
Not long.
How long? Not long. They are looking at the ones playing a quiet game, and and fair, right? Fair.
Yeah.
I feel like that we did see that a lot with Sari. Even like she played an extremely quiet game. She didn't throw too many names out. She really just voted with the wherever the wind was going. But I
Right.
don't feel like that is exactly what Kuzi's done because she's voted against the names.
Yeah.
But she's also played it right, and you don't want to do that too much because then people think you're targeting them, and so they target you as
Hmm.
a traitor, right? So
Yep.
um that is where we are. They also say they think it's weird that Kuzi threw suspicion on Fierce, even though they were always holding hands. So find out from Dom that he talked to Kuzi,
Hmm.
and that they hadn't really talked game prior to this. And she brings up that she is starting to be suspicious of Fierce. Now, we all realize that that was a whole firestorm of all sorts of people saying that all of a sudden they were suspicious of Fierce. But I
Yeah.
personally feel like everybody just wanted Fierce out. Just,
Like they may have been annoyed with Fierce, like he just gotta go.
yeah.
Yeah.
But they also think it's weird that they were always holding hands, and she still voted for him, which I also think is another weird thing to feel is weird because you can love somebody in a game. I think a lot of times people take these games personally,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
and you can love somebody as a person in the game but still vote for them, right? Like I'm
Yeah.
watching Love Island games, and this one person who is a threat took it so personally because two of her closest friends voted for her to go home in a game.
I
You
mean, see, I understand. Like, I feel like that portion of these games, whether it be Survivor, Big
mhm,
Brother, Traitors, I think that it's easy when you're not living a game to say, oh, it's just a game. Don't take it personal, but it really feels personal. I'll never forget. I had a chat with Lauren Beck. She is
mhm.
from season 39 of Survivor. She was
Okay.
like, I was one of those people that like rolled their eyes when people are mad or they were angry or bitter or whatever. She's like, then I was on Survivor. She was like, my alliance lied to me. She's like, I wanted to fight them all. She's like, it just feels so personal. She's like,
Personal.
because you're living this. It's not
Yeah.
like you're going to a baseball game for 5 hours a week. You're living this day in and day out. So when your allies that you trust lie to you, it cuts
Mhm.
deep. So I
Right.
just think that they get in their feelings, especially if there are pre-existing relationships. It's like that just complicates it 10 times more. So I understand people taking it personally because they probably thought their friends wouldn't go vote them out,
Right.
but also the friends want to win money too. And if there are friends, I think the best thing to do is
Mhm.
have some sort of conversation about, because what you expect of me in a game like this, I might not expect from you, and vice versa. You might
Mhm.
be thinking I'm going to do A, B, and C and D, and
Mhm.
that's not even in my
Your
wheelhouse.
yeah, your
Yeah,
mindset. Now, do you think if you meet this person in the game, so you have no pre-existing
relationship.
relationship, you
Yeah,
meet this person in the game, yes, it will feel like a betrayal.
right.
But and this is even like, for me, I'm also a petty person. I'm not saying I would not take it personal. I would absolutely take it personal,
Yeah.
and then I would be petty. But we know that even like Taylor Hale said that she didn't care about Britney trying to vote her out because it was a game. And I said, that's okay because I'm going to take it personal.
You sure did. But yes, but she said, and what is important about that is she did not care that Brittany tried to make a move against her. What was
Right,
in Taylor's mind is, okay, Brittany, go ahead and do what you tried. It failed, but I still need you over there because that's beneficial to me. Like
right,
she got past whatever Brittany tried to do for her own game and was
right,
like, look, I still need you to go to the end with me so I can beat you. You know what I
right.
mean? Thinking about that, a lot of people do not have the ability to do
They
that.
can't.
They
They
cannot
cannot.
do it. They cannot let go of
Mhm.
however whomever has wronged them in the game, and
Right.
they can't like let it go in order to work with them. Let's say that takes a skilled player, and Cerie's good at it, but she's been doing
Cerie's
this for
very
a
good
long
at it.
time.
Oh, we
Yes,
saw it a lot on feeds. Cerie is, I will say, if you did not watch Cerie on feeds, like, hope somebody does like a super cut of all of like what the things that Cerie did because she was a master at it. And if this is what she brought to Trader, I get it. She literally has a mask of, and this it's not to say that she hates you in real life or what, you could just be annoying her, but she's able to put up this
swallow it.
curtain.
Yes, yes, and
uh,
act like there's nothing wrong, even if she wants even if she got that person's head on the spike, and
yeah,
she knows she got it on the spike, she's still going to pretend like that is a thing that I just think takes a very mature person to be able to look past the feelings that you're feeling, the anger
yes,
that
the
you're feeling.
emotion, like
Yes.
what is going on inside, to be like, okay, I can do this because I don't think I
You
can do
might
it.
have just tried to F me up, but
Yeah,
I still am gonna have to kind of try to work with you. Not many people can do that. And that's been a big downfall to
yeah,
many people's games because they're petty about something, you know?
yeah. So that in their heads, that is suspicious, that always holding hand with Fierce but ready to vote Fierce out. But I'm like, either you're voting Fierce out or you're betraying them at the end. So there can only be one winner or three winners or what. Like you
Yeah.
can, like, if let's say if she got to the end, she could keep voting to get Fierce out just so that she could get the money and still be a faithful. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, everybody's looking at this in some sort of emotional way and an emotional tie, and for some people this is just a game.
Yeah.
Um,
What is just interesting is about Traitors is what makes an individual suspicious. Because
yeah,
I don't feel like I would see her holding hands and be like, oh, that's funny. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So, since they're left with nothing but their own devices, since there's nothing in the game that alerts you to who they are, you just have to.
Come up with
It could be the way you scratched your forehead, like for
yeah.
all I, you know what I mean?
This
You
is
may
a
have to
nervous
make it
twitch to
right.
somebody. Yeah, because I'm
Yes,
right. And
yes.
so they are looking at the ones playing a quiet game, which is Kuzi, Gerline, and Leroy. Corinne brings everyone into the parlor and announces that Dom in his room had done something against the rules of the game. And while he was a faithful, he is now banished from the castle and the game. She says she sees all. Dom, I'm sure you signed a contract, so I won't ask you what you did. But if you can tell us, shoot it off in the chat.
I bet you he had his phone or something.
I'm
You
sure he
know,
had his phone.
something like that. I was like, oh, he was sneaking some sort of contact with somebody.
or you know, like you're in the hotel, you're not supposed to like smoke in the like
Yes.
hotel room.
Yeah, something
Trying
like
to
that.
find it, like something silly, and
Hmm.
hopefully nothing big. But yeah, so but I also like this challenge. I don't know if you like this challenge.
I thought it was interesting.
Yeah,
I don't know how good I would be at it personally. I have
yeah,
a horrible, like almost embarrassingly horrible short-term memory.
yeah.
Now I can tell
You
you
told
something
me
about Big Brother, but
like
if I
ages and ages ago.
oh, you said wrong. I don't
No,
know
I'm
what we're
wrong.
wrong about, Dom.
Damn. Uh, it's not the phone, so or smoking. Damn.
Okay.
Um. So I have like a little bit of a photographic memory. Of course, like you know, I'm old now, so
You're not old.
my my memory erodes over time. But I used to be able to really like just picture everything, and like I remember I left it like right there, or remember like something is in one spot, and then it always drives me crazy because then I come back and it's gone. I know when people move stuff because I remember it being right there, right?
Yeah, no,
So
could not. I would suck so bad,
the
Tamika.
only thing is this place is a little like cluttered.
Yes, there's so
So
many things.
so many things. So I'm not sure if it like if it, like the one with the clarinet where it turned it from a clarinet into a flute, or like I might be able to spot something like that. But if it's like around a bunch of little small objects, maybe not. So
Yeah.
ghosts have overrun the castle, and it is former contestants who have been murdered. They want revenge on Corinne. And so ghost hunters have to come out, and they are replacing their priceless objects in the castle with other things. So she needs them to go find what has been removed. And I do like this challenge. It's always kind of cool to see if they actually spot it. They very rarely do. You'd be surprised how many people it's
I'm
like
not surprised at all.
zero. Right,
Yeah,
that's true.
I am not surprised in the least bit. There were so many things in that room. I would suck so bad. Like,
uh,
bad.
so the group that goes the fastest will win, but only three people will have a chance at the shield. Only three people can go into the armory, and those three people are the three people on death row. The group that wins, their team captain, one of the people on death row, will win the shield.
I
And
thought that was an interesting twist
me
because
too.
I am sure that when the traders picked their hit list,
Yes,
they
they
didn't
didn't
think
know
that they
that was
were
going to be a
offering them a
possibility.
shield.
Yep.
Right. I was like, ooh, I bet they mad. I wish we would have
Yes.
had a little bit of commentary about that little twist. Like, Koozie, Mike, what do you think about the fact that your hit list had a chance to get a shield? I wish we would have
Yeah.
got a little bit of that.
Well, I do feel like on the spot, Kuzi was able to come up with a little bit of a tactic to try to mask that, so it didn't mess them up.
Mm-hmm.
Mike didn't seem to quite understand to do that, but Kuzi seemed to get the right idea. Um, so because they are down a team member because of Dom, they have to randomly draw to pick teams because somebody will be short on one of the teams.
Mm-hmm.
And so Kuzi volunteers to randomly draw, and she picks first Kevin,
Mhm.
um, which means Kevin's going to get the advantage of an extra person.
Yeah.
Then next, Melissa A also will have an advantage of having an extra person. And last is Mary. So she will be disadvantaged one member down. Funny enough, the three teams are chosen, and Mary
Mary,
chooses.
Koozie and Mike. I was cracking up. I was like, she got both the traitors. She ain't got a shot in hell. I'm like, poor Mary.
No, it was hilarious. She, like, it's like, I don't understand. You thought Kuzi was a traitor. Why are you picking her on your team? That's why I'm saying it felt like she just gave up.
Oh yeah, I would not want anybody that I suspected seriously of being a traitor on my team because they would
Yeah,
have their motivation to help me. Why would they want me to have a shield? They just made me put me on death row.
right. Like, I understand choosing Mike. He was on the other team that y'all don't suspect had a shield. Uh, why would you choose Kuzi if you've been suspecting her? Why would you put her on your team um to sabotage you? Because that's kind of what she did. Well,
Mhm.
not really, but yeah.
Yeah, she was just moozily on walking around.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm like, it's like she she just gave up. I felt really kind of bad for her because I'm like, Melissa, Mary, like, come on, like, do you want this? Like, I need you to want this just a little more.
And I think like passion could also make you look desperate. You know what I mean? I guess, but Kuzi does a good passion. I don't know. It just depends on the tactic. Like,
We get to it. We get to it. Okay.
okay.
Melissa chooses Mickey, May, and or Mai. I always make a mistake. The show is going on, I say her name properly. When the show is off, I always say it wrong. Trayvon. And we know that those are like her, basically her ride or die. So I understand her choosing them.
Yeah, makes sense. Perfect
Yeah.
sense.
Kevin chooses Leroy, Donna, and Gerline. So Kevin's team is in first, and he feels like if he loses, he's
He's
done.
done. Yeah. He's like, I'm getting killed if I don't win this.
Which probably not, because
You don't think?
again, we found out from Kuzi she wanted him
Wanted
to
him
go to
there.
the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but we do see that he does fairly well in this challenge.
Mhm.
Leroy finds the hourglass that got flipped. He finds the green vase that got flipped. Donna kind of screws them up and puts a wrong item down
Yeah.
where Gerline had her hand on the right item,
No. Okay, girly.
and they told her just to come on, and because they were trying to do it quickly.
Yeah.
Um, it doesn't ultimately matter, but Gerling had the right item and basically had to put it back because only three items could be on the table, and they do win 2K, so two right for 2K. Um, Melissa's team is in next, and I feel like their strategy was wrong. Their
Mm,
strategy was to all go around the room at the same time together in a group.
yeah. I think it'd just be best for people to focus on sections because
Yeah,
there's so many things.
it's too many things. So, or
Yeah.
even if you focus on the section, but like survey the room
Hmm.
really quickly, but you have a focus section,
Yeah.
because they go around and nobody, and especially my, like, she discounted everything. Like, every time somebody was like, is it this, is it, and she's just like, no,
No.
no,
No.
that's
Yep.
it, it's not that.
What is it then, my? That's what I would have said.
So they just start choosing random stuff and they put it on the table, and they got zero items right. And it was a clock, a globe, and a flute. Melissa said she's saving her energy for round table. I was like, I'm sorry? How about
You're on death row. Girl.
please? Okay.
Oh.
I was just like, wait, we're like murdering, being murdered that night? Like, nothing.
Very nonchalant, like very like I don't know.
Yeah.
The people that aren't it's just more fun
Hmm.
to watch people like Kuzi that have a little bit of experience than it is to watch people that don't know what they're doing. I don't know. That doesn't mean they're going to be great, but it's just like, who was the most interesting people on this season? Kevin,
I mean, Kevin,
Kuzi for me.
Kuzi, Fierce.
Yeah, Fierce was interesting, but Kevin and Kuzi just, I don't know
Yeah,
how
no,
many things.
they were absolutely probably ahead. But even Mike, I like like Mike's commentary too.
He's
But I
interesting.
will say, um, the faithfuls being wrong or right does kind of help, like the entertainment factor, because most times they're either really super right or
Mhm.
most times they're really either like super wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, I am excited
Mhm,
that the US version that's coming on next year
mhm,
is all reality stars in some capacity.
mhm.
'Cause I just think that's going to be more interesting
I,
overall.
I agree because it was the same thing when I watched. I felt like watching the all the versions that I've watched. The U.S. to me was my favorite, but again, it's the same reasoning. I just felt like the celebrities just brought it, but that's because they know what to bring to TV.
Yeah,
And it's just
they
fine,
they have that, whatever that is. Like, I
right?
just find it in them. Even the
Hmm.
people that weren't from competition reality,
Yeah,
like Rick, Fierce, and even Mai in her own little weird way, because she
yeah.
got interesting at the round table tonight.
I mean, but she's been on reality TV, so
Right. So I was just like,
uh,
even her.
yeah, but like even on the US version, just like Kate, because like Kate hasn't been on a reality TV competition show, she's just been on reality TV
That was the one
going
that
at
was focused on Rachel.
Rachel, right?
She
I was
got
gonna
on my
say, oh,
nerves. I'm
but
like, dude,
their fights were so funny, and I love Rachel, but even the little things that Kate kept like
she kept
zinging,
poking at her. No, I did not like her. Leave my girl alone. Like, I'm like, Rachel, get her.
they were so funny. I'm sorry, and I don't like listen. I'm not. I don't watch Kate's show. I don't know Rachel that much, but I do. What I've seen of Rachel, I liked. But it just
Listen,
their back and forth was just too funny. Too
Big
funny.
Brother Rachel would have ripped her to shreds.
Yeah.
I think Rachel was trying to be calm because even she let another Big Brother player have it on the Amazing Race, like within the last couple of years. So Rachel's spicy.
Yeah, I think she was because she felt like if she was too, like you said, too passionate. Then
It looks because there's nothing to go by in this
yeah,
game.
yeah. And so Kuzi does say she doesn't want Mary to win this year.
I don't want
So
Mary to
she
win.
said she ain't helping her out. She wanted Kevin to win the shield because again, she is trying to protect Kevin. She wants
I
to
bet.
take it
Oh,
to
never
them.
mind. Let me not say that. But yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
So Mary does get one item, which is a doll, and she doesn't get it
The
herself.
only one.
She Mike got it for her, and it threw it on the table. She picked up a pillow, was like, I think the color changed. She put it on there. Then they Mike put on something else, and Kuzi was just like, I don't see nothing. And she said she generally did not see anything afterwards.
Yeah.
And so we do find out that there was just the one item for 1K in the bank, but it was radio and a metronome that also changed. Kevin gets a shield. Now, how did you feel about Kevin's reaction when he got the shield?
It was funny. I like Kevin.
Yeah.
Like I've had my qualms with him in Big Brother plenty
Hmm.
of times, but I'm enjoying him. Even one of my person that runs one of my groups with me,
Hmm.
she was a Kevin Martin hater. Could not stand Kevin.
Really?
Now she loves him. Yeah. Now she's like, I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I love Kevin now. Like I don't hate him anymore. It's just a different
Oh,
game.
wow.
Kevin
Okay.
is something.
He definitely brought something to the show. I will say that. And I didn't watch him on Big Brother. I thought he was very good here. His commentary was either
So good.
spot on or just so good, funny, whatever. But I did find this funny because he was ecstatic. It was like he couldn't hold it in, and everybody's like, "Okay, we got it." And so they only got 3K in total after a possible 9K. Um, Kevin does get to go into armory. He gets the shield. He knows he wouldn't have survived without it. Kuzi is happy for Kenan. She didn't have to do much to sabotage Mary, and
Right.
he still got the shield. So
Yeah.
her and Gerline have a little bit of a conversation, and she's wondering should they try to take Mary out now because they
Right.
think she's a traitor. We know
Yeah.
that Kuzi doesn't really think this, but
Right.
that is who they're pointing to. The other side basically thinks it's Kuzi,
Yeah.
and they don't. They say don't throw names out, but oh, they were saying don't. She doesn't. They say doesn't throw names out.
Kuzi doesn't throw names out.
Yes, Kuzi doesn't throw names out, and I'm just like, okay, but I haven't. There's some people I haven't seen to throw any names out. It's like people come to them and they're like, "We think it's this," and they're like, "Yes."
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, people come up with any reason to
Any
be
reason?
suspicious. It doesn't even have to be legit. It could be
Yeah,
ridiculous, but if it makes them feel like that person is untrustworthy, they're gonna look at them.
yeah,
I guess for her, not throwing out names is untrustworthy.
yeah. Kuzi says that Mike tells her that Mai is bringing up her name, and
Hmm.
Kuzi says she will verbally violate Mai if she brings up her name. I love Kuzi
Oh
so
my god. Are we gonna get is it Zach 2.0? Like I was like cracking up.
much.
Kuzi was
I
ready.
can't wait for her to bang on the table and just let her have it. Oh my god, so fun. Um, so round table begins. Corinne says the second half of the game has begun. Something different in the air. A wind in the sails of the faithful has, she feels, arrived. And as more numbers dwindle, more traitors can be revealed. And I was like, I didn't see the wind. Like I don't know. I don't trust these people with no wind at all, at all, at all. So we do see Trayvon wants to know why Kevin voted for him, and I
I
was
thought
like, huh?
Kevin had made that clear though last time.
Like, dude, you lied about your occupation.
Right. You gave people a reason to be suspicious of you.
So what did you expect him to do?
Right.
Because at this point we just throwing out whatever we can when we can. Um,
Absolutely.
Kevin says, as we progress, some faithfuls aren't good to take to the end. Fair. Because if you know that, like, if you watch the UK version, there were people that people knew were faithfuls, but they didn't want to go to the end with them because they had their people that they wanted to win the money with.
Say that again.
So, so it's like having an alliance, right? Like
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
about the leftovers. Like you basically say this is the people you want to get to the end with because you love them, you trust them. This is who you want to take to the end because they will take you to the end.
Okay.
Rather than, oh, even though I know this person is a faithful, I know that they will at
They
some
won't be
point
loyal
target
to
me.
me.
Because
Okay.
you can keep, like, you get to that last bonfire
Mm-hmm.
or fire pit, you can keep going till you are the only faithful left.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I guess you want to ride to the end with people you feel like have your back and are
Yeah.
not gonna accuse you of being a traitor. So that makes sense. Yeah.
Right. So that's what Kevin was saying. He knew that Trayvon was a faithful, but he doesn't trust him. He doesn't
Yeah.
trust that he would take him to the end or not, vote him out.
Turn against them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you could go like
Yeah.
Trayvon. I know you're not a traitor, but you're also not with me. So it doesn't. That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So that was basically what he said. On top of he lied about his profession. Mai brings up names that have not been said: Kuzi, Leroy, and Gurleen.
I like this strategy from her. I was actually surprised. She's like, I want to talk about people that have not been talked about. And she named them. I was like, oh my. Because I feel like if I was sitting at that table, I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Why are we talking about y'all? Like type of situation.
Um, and they kind of really attacked Girlene. I don't know if you noticed that she just started zoning out. She's like, my talks, and I'm just thinking about my dog.
Cracking up. I was like, she's probably just super, super long winded and not talking about anything.
So while mine's like Girlene is like quiet, I was like, ooh, but we getting Girlene commentary tonight. I love it. Like she's in the edit tonight. So
Mm-hmm.
Leroy points to Mary. He's like, listen, I don't think such and such is a faith traitor. I don't think Kuzi's a faith traitor or whatever. But Mary, you are the person I'm suspicious of. We've had these conversations, and we're just not saying your name, but you're the person that we think it is. And she's like, okay.
Yeah. Very nonchalant.
She's
I'm like,
like,
Mary,
hello, say something.
yeah,
You
I
can
think Mary
say I'm not.
tired.
Either they're editing it or what. I was like, say I'm not. I like something. She said something.
Something.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Um.
I think she's just tired. Like, all right, no matter what I say, y'all gonna call me a traitor. So, all right, have that. Like, type of energy is what I was getting.
Uh. Uh. Just okay. I couldn't. I was like, no. Say something. Defend yourself. Okay. Um. Kevin brings up Kuzi's name.
I was like, you dummy. Like, you have a whole crew of people you're rocking, even if you thought it, right? Even if he was thinking it. Why now? This is not the time when heat is on your behind. Oh, Kuzi, oh, and then I did it for Kuzi. She wasn't fighting. She wasn't nothing. Okay, Kevin, I see
He's
you.
like, I've been protecting you in this game. I've done everything I can to take you to the end of this game. And you throw my name out? And then not only does he throw out Kuzi's name, he throws out Leroy's name. These are the people you're in an
And
alliance with.
your whole group. So that's why I was confused with Gerline later. But I'm like, what do you expect? Like, if I'm working with you, Tamika, and I think we have this mutual trust, we're riding together in this game, and then it comes time to talk about eliminating people, and you say you're suspicious of me. I'm like, what the heck?
Right.
I wouldn't blame Leroy, didn't blame Leroy or Kuzi at all. Cause nah, we're not doing this, dog. Like,
Like it's one thing to bring up one person's name and like vote against them, like you know what Kuzi did with Fierce, but it's
it
another
was
thing to
happening regardless.
right,
Yeah.
but to bring up both of your other allies.
I felt the exact same way.
Oh my gosh. So Mike points again to the red team. He thinks they had the shield, but he thinks it's Mary. He does throw suspicion off of Kuzi.
Yeah.
And so Melissa says she doesn't get eye contact from Kuzi.
I feel like she's always looking at people, but I don't,
I do.
I wasn't paying attention to their interactions to have an
Mhm.
opinion, but
Yeah, I thought that came out of nowhere. And then Kuzi goes on the most epic rant
it was
about being
so
a
good.
telephone operator and how she lives in truth and that's all she knows. So no, she's not going to throw names out because she's not 100%. And when the evidence is brought to her, she goes over the evidence and then she votes the way that she feels like makes the most sense. So we all need to be logical about this. I was like, oh,
Get
and
it, girl. Mike's like, oh my god. I'm hoping it's not making him think like I can't beat this woman. You know what I mean?
I was like, because Kuzi put on Twitter, she's like, what in the kind of word salad bullshit am I putting out on this round table? And I'm just like, no, but it's so good. And
So
even
good.
he said, it's like, where do you come up with these? Where do
It was really good, and I
you?
think
It's
that
so good.
as long as they're not messing with my emotions in the edit, which is very possible, they could. Because
Absolutely
I
possible.
messaged you when they started saying her name. I was like, Tamika. Y'all who for people that are watching us, when I was watching the episode and they started talking about Kuzi, I'm like, oh no. Like I started getting nervous about it. So
Yep.
unless they're playing with us, she really did a good job of getting the heat off of her
Off of
behind.
her. Yeah. Girline does say though she thinks Kuzi is very smart. Um, Kevin brings up Mike again. And this is where I felt like, if Kevin, if you were trying to get Mike out, why are you going with the rest of the round table and saying
Other
the
names.
alliance people's name?
Yeah, because I feel like the better strategy, if he's working with them and he is legitimately, well, he must be suspicious of them.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't the time right now. Like, he needs to be saying that to Gerline. He sideswiped her too tonight. She had
Yes.
no idea he was going to say that, or was suspicious apparently because she told them. I don't know why he said your name. She seemed blindsided by it too. So that's something I don't know. He didn't handle that in the right way, in
Not at
my
all.
opinion.
He
Yeah.
should have done two things. He should have said, Mary, you weren't on my radar at first. You kind of coming up, but I still think it's Mike. And then that would have been the clue to the team to say, okay, we're holding on to Mary because we think she's the traitor. Let's vote out Magic Mike.
Right.
Kuzi would have done it. Leroy would have done it. I think some of the other people, because we see Mary chose Mike, like Mickey chose Mike. I
Yeah,
think he
two
could have
votes.
got Mike out that night instead of him. um, but Mike does deflect. He says, my name has been brought up many times. And I have thrown names out a lot. And but again, Kevin said, this is my thing. This is what Kevin should have did up front, but he was trying to do it in the back end. By the time he did it in the back end, it was too late. Donna now says she wants to vote for somebody on the list. She feels like a pawn. And I was like, didn't you say at the beginning, no, you weren't voting for nobody on the list, Donna?
Listen, I want to know how there was so much suspicion on her at the beginning of the season, and then it's
Hmm.
like they dropped it like a hot potato.
Hmm.
I'm like, what happened to talking? When she started talking, I was like, why ain't y'all talking about her no more?
I don't know because I don't know how she feels like a pawn. I haven't heard anybody say her name.
Not right. There was so much buzz around her at the beginning of the season, and it's just like it floated away. I don't know.
And so we do get the actual vote. Mickey votes for Kevin. Kuzi votes for Kevin.
Right.
Mary votes for Mike. My votes for Kevin. Trayvon for Kevin. Kevin votes for Mike. Gerline votes for Donna.
According to what we saw, nobody even said Donna's name, did they?
Exactly. Mike votes for Kevin. Melissa votes for Donna. Leroy votes for Kevin, and Donna votes for Kevin. And Kevin says he is going to regret that round table for a long time. He should, because I really do think he made like an error, like an
Yeah,
absolute error.
I feel like that did not have to go that way. And
It
if he
didn't.
had handled it a little, according to what we saw, at least, if he had handled it a little bit differently, he could have survived tonight with his
He
shield.
could have. He could have. Kuzi said, "I either wanted it to be Kevin at the end, or I wanted it to be me and Kevin at the end, and I steal his money." Why would you call me out? People in here have called out people in your corner. Are you kidding? She was
Right,
so pissed. She was so
right.
pissed.
I was like, because she was sideswiped. So then after he's eliminated and everybody shows their faces, we see Gerline very, very emotional. She was connected to Kevin. It seemed like they had a great relationship, a great game relationship, saw
Hmm.
the things the same. So I got she missed her person. But I'm so confused as to how she is this. The fact that Kuzi voted for Kevin makes her suspicious. He said her name.
Yeah,
Why would she not? A person that she's supposed to be working with. It is common sense that I'm about to vote you out. If you obviously we're not in this together. So Gurleen, I'd kill Gurleen after this. I honest to God, I would. Either she got to be a traitor or I'm killing you. Because how
yeah,
are you looking crazy at me when your man betrayed his alliance and is looking at his own alliance and you didn't know either?
yeah. It
Gurleen
was
should have been like, "Oh, guys, that was a good call." Because blah 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 blah
like
blah.
why would he betray our alliance? But no, she was so upset. Kevin does say he's a faithful. Kuzi said my sorry, Gerline says Mary is the traitor. I was dying laughing. Kevin, I came to uh Kevin says, I came to try to relate to other humans. And I told you this, he had said this in his
Yeah,
podcast with Sharon, not to win or to get the money, and he feels like he did that. So
Yeah.
he does say that he came to gain friends and to be different with that. And so Gerlin is very sad that Kevin left. Feels
Yeah.
that Leroy and Kuzi betrayed her and Kevin. I'm like, her and Kevin? How? Kevin betrayed them.
Yes.
And they're like, now we're down a person. And it like, yes, that's Kevin's fault. Yeah.
Yes, not Koozies. Or how is that Koozie's fault? Like, yeah, she was making me mad with that, and it makes me. I think that she's gonna be looking at Koozie because
Mm-hmm.
of this. Because she said I was suspicious when she voted for Fierce. Fierce was going regardless of what Koozie did with her vote, and now she voted out Kevin. Duh, Gerline. I would kill Gerline. Gerline would have to go.
Um, and so Kuzi like actually explained. She's like, Kevin brought my name up and Leroy's name up, and he's supposed to be working with us. Oh, but you vote up Kevin and Fierce. She's like, Kuzi says, but my name wasn't the one. But like your name wasn't the one called. Why are you crying when your name wasn't called? My name and Leroy's name was. What were
Yeah.
we supposed to do? Melissa brings up that Kuzi and Mike are the names that Kevin had said.
Mm-hmm.
Mike being the most often. And she says this to Leroy, and we see that next week it's a Mike against Kuzi
I'm like,
situation.
what is happening? Are they lying? Is she
Hmm.
saying his name? Like, I'm already
I know.
nervous. I'm
I
mad
know.
that like I'm so happy that Kuzi's on the season, but then I'm mad because I'm just like, better not get like I hate like that I care. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like I just want
yeah,
to watch it and not have any investment in the people.
yeah,
But my girl Kuzi, it was a
yeah.
really. This is my favorite episode so far.
Yeah, it was a really good episode, and so salute to the Kevin Martin.
Yes,
He
Kevin, great
played a good
job.
game up
Yes,
until
he
this
did.
point, but like literal error, like literal hit a brick wall when he shouldn't have, and so we see how quickly the tides have turned. Kuzi did a great job of deflecting her name. Mike almost went out here, and he's lucky that Kevin actually made an error, and so. Um, uh, if they do target Kuzi and Mike, I just hope that it goes on Mike and not Kuzi.
Oh yeah,
Oh my
I
god.
mean, as smart. I don't know. I think that Kuzi's personality and her social game that people obviously feel drawn to her, want to be around
Hmm.
her. That was
Hmm.
obvious in this house, as it was in the Big Brother house.
Hmm.
But I feel like somebody like that with that much charisma, I would be
Hmm.
so suspicious of
Yeah.
because you're good, and if I can't get people against you, you got.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just have to keep barking your name because
Yeah.
she's good.
She is. She's good. So, guys, that is episode 6. I agree with Janelle. One of my favorite episodes, probably to this point. I thought
Yeah.
it was gonna lose steam. We lost Fierce last week. And again, we did lose Kevin Martin, so I'm wondering how much that will impact
I feel
what's
like they're
being
going to be
said.
running around like a bunch of chickens with their heads cut off, honestly,
Yeah,
without.
yeah,
But there's some like Maya is starting to impress me. Gerline is. I would be worried about her.
yeah. I would absolutely. I
Yeah.
actually was like, the first half of the game, Gerline was not even barely in the edit, and
Right.
the fact that she is picked up to this point worries me. She might either get down to the end or win, which would be cool for Gerline, sad for my girl. But um
Yeah,
so
Gerline is a lot. Like
yeah.
she. Yeah.
So guys, thank you for joining us. Um it- gosh, I can't wait to like see what actually happens. So join us again next week. I think we're going to be a little later on
Tuesday.
Tuesday. I think
Yeah.
we said 8.
Yeah.
So we were back next Tuesday at 8, about 8 or so,
Yeah.
to recap episode 7. So I'm excited to see, because
Yeah.
this looks like it might be a really good one.
Oh, I'm already like nervous. Like I want to know what happens before I watch next week already. Because
Yeah.
I'm my girl.
So Janelle, tell them where they can find you. Tell them what you're up to.
I'm just Janelle Michelle on everything: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. If you see my name, that is me. Tamika and I are wrapping up season 24 of Big 25 of Big Brother. I am excited to end the season. The only thing that I'm looking forward to right now is seeing who wins AFP. I do not care who wins the game. And
Hmm.
I'm excited to see everybody together.
Yeah, same. I really wish I was in LA for the
Oh my
finale
God.
party.
Serious
Um,
FOMO. I'm
so
like so upset.
but maybe another time. But yes, I agree. I am so excited for the season to end. Not really looking forward to any of the final three winning, but I am hopeful for a good AFP result. But yes, I am so excited for this season to end. Follow me on Entertainment in Color. I am currently covering this with Janelle and also Big Brother. We end sometime this week. We'll probably finish up either Friday or Saturday or something.
Mhm.
And then on Sundays, I will be Bachelor Nationing with Chantel Francis and Miss T Joy. We do the Golden Bachelor on my channel, and over on Reality Realness 3S's, we do Bachelor in Paradise. And join me almost nightly. I've been trying to bang them out, but all these shows have put me behind, but I'm finally caught up. Join me tonight at about 10:30. I am going to recap the last few episodes of Love Island Games. If you are not watching Love Island Games, first come on into my show and let's discuss and just give commentary and then go watch the show. And then no, not next week, but the week after, possibly, I will probably be starting coverage of Twin Love with the Bella twins. So I'm excited for. So yes, like we are have a lot of reality TV shows to cover. So I'm excited. That will be on Amazon Prime. So follow me, it will just let you know when I'm going to be on, when I'm not going to be on, what shows that I will be covering. I am very excited for this like winter season. There's going to still be a couple of things I will covering. So thank you guys for joining us. Have a good night. We will see you if you are a Traitors Canada fan. We will see you next Tuesday. Thank you.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.